Well, just finished packing up. I have to be at the airport tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. to catch my flight. New Mexico, here I come.
New Mexico, I have a picture of when we were on this ranch in New Mexico. Dude, it is probably one of the best pictures I have ever taken in my life. I mean, it's amazing. New Mexico is badass. Yep. I went there when we were together there. Lord.
Alright, so I made it to camp right after dark. When I got there, the outfitter, the guides, the rest of the hunters that had gotten there before me, they were still out in the field. They were actually trying to locate a buck one of the other hunters had shot. So I unloaded all my stuff, got everything settled into camp. When they came back, we grabbed some dinner real quick, and then we filled out all the paperwork that we had to do before you go on a hunt like this. I've got all that situated. Met the guy that was going to be guiding me, Hawkus, awesome dude. And pretty much made plans for the next morning's hunt. Everyone, it is our first morning here at the Nan Ranch in New Mexico, chasing some muleys. I'm here with Master Guide Hawkus.
Hello.
He's kind of like the Mr. Miyagi of mule deer hunting, if you will. I've been guaranteed that he's going to get me a 200-inch buck on this hunt. So, you know, he said no problems whatsoever.
No problems, yeah.
No problems. So we've made our way up to this ridge top, and game plan is we're just going to go along this ridge and look down into these little drainages and coulees and things, and kind of see what we can spot. We got a couple doe bedded probably, I'd say 300-400 yards away. Seen some others so far this morning, and just kind of go from there. So you know, see what happens. Exciting stuff.
236, not too bad.
236, that wasn't too far off. For the naked eye. So beautiful country out here. I mean, just absolutely gorgeous. I'll kind of see if I can get you up.
The Caballo Blanco is what you're looking at there. That big one out there is called Cook's Peak.
So,
to show the elevation on that guy.
all right, well, we're going to go see if we can't find some bucks to go with these does. So.
Oh yeah, that 200-incher.
Yeah, that 200-incher you promised me.
Promises.
We had spotted the two doe a couple ridges over from where we initially started glassing, and we moved in to try and get a better look at them. Well, when we get there, Hawkus decides he wants to look back over behind us into this one canyon and check out like all the shadowed areas in that canyon, because these bucks like laying in those shadows. So while he's doing that, I go back to glassing the two doe we had originally seen. Well, as soon as I pull up my glass, I'm like, hey, Hawkus, that one doe grew antlers. And, you know, he comes running over, he looks through the glass, and sure enough, it was a buck. So we pull out the spot and scope, get a good look at him, and decide we're going to put a stalk on. I grab my bow, and as soon as I do, I can feel something wrong. So I start looking, and here the screws that held my sight onto the riser of the bow had worked themselves out from bouncing around in the UTV, getting to our hunting area. So had to end up backing out of the area, tightening the screws up, putting the archery target back up, and taking some shots to make sure that the bow was still on. It took us probably 45 minutes or so. So we get back in there hoping to relocate this buck. Well, he hasn't moved. He's still in the same exact spot where we left him. So we put together a plan, and we go in, we make our move. We're about halfway to him, and all of a sudden Hawkus stops. He's like, hey, there's a doe looking right at us. So we pause for a minute. He's like, come on, we just got to go. We got to cover this ground. So we cover the ground, get to where we're thinking the buck will be. All we got to do is come up over the top of this ridge, and it should be a nice close 35, 40 yard shot. We get there, and buck's gone. All the deer gone. So we start looking for him, and sure enough, they're clean down at the bottom of this canyon, starting up the other side. So we hightail it back to the ridge where we started our stalk from. Get up there thinking they're going to come up to that ridge. Well, lo and behold, no. They do the complete opposite. They go back up over the ridge they were bedded on, and they're gone. So we're like, shit, what do we do now? So we start back to the UTV, and that's when everything kind of goes crazy. Alright, so at this point, we have now put on 2 failed stalks. These deer just have busted us. They're not having any part of it. So Hawkus and I decided the best thing to do is make our way back to the UTV, get in, move further up this ridge, try and either spot them again, spot some different deer, something, but we've already wasted like close to 2 hours trying to put a stalk on and busted every time. We get about 30 yards from the UTV, and all of a sudden Hawkins spots this same buck that we'd been chasing. He's probably about 300 yards away, up the hill, over the next little ridge in this canyon, but we can see him headed up the other side. So Hawkins makes a decision that we're just going to get up that hill as fast as we can, and as soon as we crest the top, he's like, we should be able to get about an 80-yard shot. Are you comfortable with that? Yeah, no problem. I'll take that shot. So we hightail it up this ridge, and he was right. As soon as we crested the hill, there they were, down just at the very top of this canyon, and the buck wasn't really going anywhere because he was with a hot doe, and she wasn't moving. So he hurries up, he gives me a range, and instead of 80 yards, it's 95. So I adjust my sight, draw back, settle the pin, and squeeze. Shot felt good. Shot felt great. But couldn't see the arrow. Deer didn't move. Didn't hear the arrow. Nothing. So to be honest with you, I can't tell you what happened, but it was like I didn't even shoot. No movement whatsoever. I turned to Hawkins. I'm like, did I go high, low? He goes, I never saw the arrow. So I hurry up, knock another arrow. Deer still hasn't moved, doesn't know we're there, doesn't know he was shot at. So I draw back again, settle, calm my nerves, just good breathing, everything, trigger the shot. I'm watching the arrow go, and I'm like, holy cow, I'm going to shoot like 4 feet over his back. No, arrow drops right in. The buck kicks, runs 20 yards, falls over, done. What I saw was the arc of the arrow at that distance going up and then dropping in. So ended up making a double lung shot on this deer. Like I said, went 20 yards and that was it.
That was not the shot that I thought you had done. That's, you center punched him. You put it right on his shoulder.
Sweet. Oh my. Thank God.
Yes.
Thank you, God.
Yep.
Thank you. Oh. Well, unfortunately, this all happened so fast, we couldn't get the shot on camera. But I'll tell you, it was 95 yards. We came up over this ridge and he was standing there with a group of doe, and couldn't get any closer without spooking him. Anyone that knows me know that I practice out to about 130, 140 religiously. He was calm. The one doe he was with was hot. He was paying no attention to us. So I felt confident in the shot. No wind. People can say what they want, but that's why I practice at the distances I do. And man, I couldn't be happier. And big shout out to God. I know that's cliched. I don't give a shit, but you got to thank him when you have an opportunity to do something like this. And a big thank you to my guide Hawkins. Like I said, basically the Mr. Miyagi of mule deer hunting. But dude, I love this tine right here. Just character to him. And we've been chasing him for about probably 4 hours.
Yeah, we did 3 stalks.
3 stalks on him, and fourth one paid off. Just tremendous experience down here in New Mexico. I mean, beautiful country, fantastic people, and I really couldn't be any happier. So you know, like I said, I'm sorry I didn't get the shot on camera, but I wasn't passing up the opportunity just to get the video rolling. So all right, everyone. Yeah, we didn't get that memo. We're on our way back. We're gonna have to go get some sort of rope and try and pull this guy up out with the UTV. There's no way we're dragging him or anything else. So anyway,
We could quarter him.
we could quarter him. We could do that. But I don't know how many trips up and down that hill I want to make.
No,
So
take him out in a hole.
take him out in the hole. So at this point, we know the deer's down. We've actually gone down, found him, taken some pictures with him. We tried to bring him back up this hill, but the dirt and the gravel on the hill was so loose, and it was such a steep incline to this hill, we couldn't even get him to move. We're both pulling on him, and we're just getting nowhere because every time we take a step, our feet just slide. We talked about quartering him up and carrying him out, but we wanted to get some good pictures with this deer, so we decided our best course of action was go back to the ranch, get some rope, and pull him up the hill with the UTV, and that's what we did. When we got back, we went back down over, tied him off to the rope, rolled him onto a tarp so that he didn't get tore up as we drug him up the hill, and it took a little trying, but that's exactly what happened. So we got him up to the top, got some great trophy pictures, and I mean, I couldn't have been happier. You know, this hunt, it was over quick. Only took me a total of about 4.5 hours. You know, that hardly ever happens. Usually you're out there till the last minute of the last day, but sometimes it works out. You know, the one thing that you can take away from this, whether it's a quick hunt, whether it's a long hunt, a hunt like this really, for me, reaffirms why I love to chase these animals and do it in the country that they live in. It's beautiful, it's majestic, and it's everything you can think of when you talk Western hunting.